What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in Warframe and we are talking update 13 today. Update 13.3 to be specific. Pack Hunters is what they are calling it. So let's go ahead and go through all of these changes. We've got some additions. We've got the Warframe changes to talk about. Invasion changes, general changes. There's a whole bunch of fixes. I'll talk a little bit about these new weapons and whatnot. What you're going to see me running here in the background is a random pickup series, defense, and this is, I'm going to actually have the Sybaris, which is the new rifle, and the Angstrum. I'm just starting on the Angstrum in this mission, so it's a first look at the Angstrum, which is the secondary, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. How I went, I'm like, what, rank 13 right now on the Sybaris already, and I'm just starting the Angstrum. We'll talk a little bit about how that comes to play. Okay, so let's get right into it. So we got additions. So we got a new enemy type, the Feral Kubro, which is basically a former pets that are now vicious. Okay, and they've evolved into deadly pack hunters that now pervade on Earth's dense forest. They are intensely territorial. The Kubro will attack any creature unlucky enough to cross their path. Haven't gone to Earth yet. I'll get into the Earth missions and play around with these guys a few times. It should be interesting to see how they react, how they work, whether they jump on you, that type of thing. New weapons. So you got the Sybaris, which is a Tenno-crafted lever action rifle, equal in elegance and executioner, as they put it. This is pickable. You can pick it up in the marketplace for platinum, as you see here, 225 platinum, or it is built in your Tenno lab, and takes 3 days inside the Tenno lab to build before you can pull it into your foundry. And then in 3 days we'll talk about, I'll put it in a video somewhere, and we'll talk about what it actually costs to build it. And actually I'll probably put it in the build video when I do the build video on it. Okay. Then we have the other weapon, the Angstrum. Okay. The Angstrum is capable of firing multiple rockets at once, and the Angstrum is handheld instrument of destruction, as they call it. There are a couple ways to play this weapon that I noted in this run that I'm doing. First, as you can see here, Sybaris is pretty cool. It's pretty accurate. It's got good range, and as a burst rifle, I'm pretty impressed with it. Now, the Angstrum, on the other hand, there's two ways you can run this, okay? It's a held trigger, and if you hold it down for the full duration of the charge, it's going to shoot off all 3 bullets. If you just hold it down for a couple seconds and let it go, it's going to shoot off just 1 bullet at a time. So there's 3 in the chamber, but if you hold it down all the way until the full charge, it'll shoot off all 3 at once, obviously doing more damage than just a single shot. Now, this is in the marketplace. You buy the blueprint for 25,000, or you can buy it with platinum for 190. Once you have the blueprint, which you can see right here, the build requirements are 25,000 credits, 600 alloy plate, 400 circuits, 900 salvage, and 2 argon crystals. Now, noted for me, and I'm assuming this will be for many others, that I had to run at least 15 void runs tonight just to get 2 argon crystals in order to build this thing. And then I fast-tracked it with platinum instead of waiting the 24 hours. But you can just go buy it for 190, or you can farm the heck out of it, because unlike in the past builds where you could go on almost any void mission and come out with at least 1 argon crystal, for some odd reason tonight I couldn't come out with anything. So they must have changed that drop table a bit, so it's not too easy to just go ahead and get this thing rolling. Just keep that in mind. And it may just been my bad luck, I was being trolled by Warframe. We'll see. Be curious what other people end up talking about here. So then next we've got a new Warframe customization, which is the armor pieces. There's 2 sets of armor. First, if you want to purchase the Daedalus armor bundle, I would suggest buying it in the marketplace for 100 platinum. It is visual only, but if you buy it separately, the 3 pieces separately, it'll cost you 150 platinum. However, the only one that I liked out of all of them was the EOS shoulder plates. Now, I spent 50 platinum to buy 1 shoulder plate, and then what it does is once you purchase it, it allows you to put it on the left side and the right side without having to purchase a second one. So you only have to buy it once, and it'll make a duplicate so you can put it on both sides. Just FYI. The other armor plate here, the other armor bundle that we just talked about, I found that it did not sit well on a number of characters, and a number of them you couldn't even see the shield. You couldn't see the leg plates properly. They were behind other portions of the Warframe's legs. So it's all going to depend upon the frame as to what it looks like. And quite honestly, I thought it looked pretty ugly. The dataless armor bundle on pretty much all the frames. The only one, like I said, I liked was the EOS shoulder blades because they weren't overbearing. And they're pretty cool. And you can color them however you want to as well. Okay. Moving along, the Grenier Shipyard expansion, they have changed the number of missions. Okay, so in series, Hapki and Bode are now capture type missions, and Kisk is now a mobile defense mission. Just for FYI, they added a codex entry for Mag Prime finally. They increased the color customization option, so now you can separately color your Sandanas and other accessories from your Warframe if you so desire. And it got me a little confused when I was doing the screen for the new armor piece, because there's a whole set of new colors as well, but it's there. Now they also added in an auto vault over obstacles as a toggle on and off, so you can check your menu options for that. This basically allows you to jump over obstacles that are in your way automatically if you so choose, so you don't have to do it manually. Warframe changes we talked about in a video I did just the other day. We talked about Trinity, Banshee, Nyx, Volt, Hydroid, and Ash will be in the future. To quickly touch base again, the Blessing was changed, and Energy Vampire on Trinity. Okay, and they also reduced the time it takes for Trinity's Blessing animation to play now. So right there on the screen, this is what they changed. Banshee, they changed Silence and Soundquake. Alright. On Nyx, they changed the Absorb to have a toggle on-off. And they did the toggle on-off for the Soundquake as well on Banshee. And the radial range effect has been changed for Banshee as well for the Silence. Volt Shield has been changed. It's been increased in size for better team usage. I have to pull out Volt and see how big it is now. And Hydroid is now a toggle on-off as well for the Undertow ability. And then Ash we'll see in the future. They already talked about some of the changes. Invasion mission changes. So they changed the faction logic in invasion missions for on their homeworld planets. These homeworld planets are indicated by the planet description in the game. Defender won't go into threatened mode until they reach somewhere between 33 and 66% ownership. At that point, they engage in a more aggressive strategy to win an invasion. Majority land value on their home world. Excuse me. Once they are back to that value between this 33 and 66%, they will return to normal. And threatened mode, obviously. So you got your normal mode. Once it reaches 33 to 66%, it goes into threatened mode, and then once it passes that, it goes to normal mode again. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so no, we don't want to extract. We want to keep going a little bit longer. Though Alex the Great, or Smart here, he wants to extract. So okay, bye Alex. I don't know who he is. So some general changes. Let's just talk about some general changes they made here. They reduced the amount of motion blur seen from Volt's speed ability, which is nice. They tweaked the shield down and shield recharge sound effects. They allowed the Corpus Rescue alarm sound effects to now be replayable. Optimized a number of light assets in the Orokin Void, in the Corpus Outpost tileset, in the Corpus Ship tileset, and in the Grineer Asteroid tileset. Okay, so just keep all that in mind. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. I still had a little bit of lag inside the Void, but that was what it was. They optimized the visual effects for the bleeding procs. They increased the visual effects limits for Nyx's absorb ability to account for the duration extending mods. They reduced the visibility of Zephyr's turbulence to address performance concerns. I'm pretty happy about that, thank you. Changed the damage type that is used to calculate the damage of melee finishers, which will cause the melee finisher damage to be a multiple, much like the way the ground hits are currently calculated. So the finisher mod may actually have some real good use to it now. Tweaked the sound effects for many of Hydroid's abilities. They tweaked the ambient sound effects heard in the forest tile set. To tweak some visuals on the Misa Sindana. They set the max limit on the max instances of Frost's snow globe sound effects. So there's now some sound effects that they set a limit on before it stops making more sounds, which is cool. They extended the maximum possible duration of Soundquake sound effects to take into account duration extending mods. They optimized the type of collision calculation used in certain Grineer settlement art assets to address performance concerns. A mod shown during the loading screen now will display as a max level mod, so you can see the max level stats of a particular mod, which is really cool. If you don't have the mod and you randomly shows up on your screen, you can say, oh, okay, so that's what it's going to cost. Blueprint mods are now highlighted to differentiate them from other drops. They tweaked a visual effect for destroying security cameras. Vahek can no longer be affected by mind control abilities, so Nyx is pretty much useless against Vahek with her controlling abilities. Ash's Bladestorm, and this is a big one, will now deal multiple damage based on the current combo hit multiplier. That's just freaking awesome. So we know they're going to make changes to Ash. Now the Bladestorm is going to work a little bit more effectively and do even more damage right now, which is a nice thing to see. They tweaked the reload sound effects on the Furies. They added in a number of HUD timers for numerous Warframe abilities, so Vauban's Bastille, Vauban's Vortex, Banshee's Sonar, Ember's Fire Blast have all been have a number value to them now. They tweaked the sounds on the Desert Skates. They optimized the shading effect on very bright energy colors to help reduce any apparent color bleeding effects. Okay, nice. But now that just means that I can't go and spam the color and make it bother everybody. Dang it. Improve the way the auto fuse algorithm would select for fusion. So the auto fuse functionality will now attempt to calculate the most optimal amount of mods to fuse to reduce the amount of overflow and wastage, which is pretty cool. And as my understanding, it is basically, let's say it requires 3 cores. It'll now say, well, I actually require 2 rare 5s and 1 common 3, and it'll fuse those 3 together instead of fusing like 3 rare 5s together. That is my understanding of how it works. The distribute resource button has now been separated into 2 separate buttons with distinct functionality. This has to do with clan alliances and solar rails. One button will be used for distributing credits, and the other will be used to distribute miscellaneous items. They also tweaked the ability and energy visuals on numerous warframes, which include Rhino, Frost, Nova, Ash, Banshee, Zephyr, Vauban, Volt, and Valkyr. Just FYI, which is pretty good. Some of those needed some tweaking, that's for sure. They added in better quality Swift Death mod card image. I don't know who's using Swift Death anyway for the, what is that, the, it's one of the Sentinels. A couple more things here. They improve the fusing process for mods already installed on weapons, and here's a big one. So you'll now receive the prompt informing you that the fusion process will exceed the capability on a specific weapon that the mod is installed on, and will ask you whether you would like to uninstall the mod and continue with the fusion process or cancel the fusion entirely. So let's say I'm working on the Sybaris and I got a mod that is going to pass what's there when I'm trying to fuse it. It's just going to tell me, hey, do you want me to take it off and you can keep fusing it, or do you want me to just cancel it? Now that's pretty cool. Now of course the other effect to this is if there's multiple fusion conflicts, these will display sequentially as well. So if you got the same mod, let's say you got the serration on multiple weapons and you want to max it out, and it's going to affect multiple weapons in the maxing out, it's going to tell you sequentially in order which ones, and it's going to allow you, from my understanding, to remove it from that weapon so that way you can fully fuse it, which is good, so you don't have to go into multiple weapons now and manually remove it. And then finally they created a more robust warning for the last clan leaving an alliance, informing them that all resources including solar rails will be destroyed in the process. So if you're killing an alliance off, closing it down, whatever, this is going to come up as a warning for the last clan leaving. Anyway, so those are basically all the changes that have been made in this update. It's a pretty good amount of stuff. Pretty happy with some of the tweaks and mods that they've done. The weapons in here, the two new weapons, are pretty enjoyable so far. They're definitely going to take some time to build up properly. This Sybaris that I've got here, I've got two weapon mods on it right now, which is a max serration mod and a max critical chance on here right now, and that's it. Interestingly enough, the critical chance on here, just the max card itself, brings your crit up to a 62.5, which I believe is the same as the Soma, if I am correct. So you can really do some major damage in critical on this. Time will tell how I set it up. I definitely like it with the critical and the serration on here. Obviously adding in things like split chamber, other damage mods to it will be pretty good. It has a overall equal amount of damage on impact, puncture, and slash, just FYI. So there's going to have to be some thoughts as to the build on this, so give me some time to get a build up on it and as I try to work it out. I don't know if I don't know if it'll be all damage mods and crit, or if it'll have an elemental in crit and damage. You know, I just got to play it around a little bit. Let's see. Then on this one here that I'm running right now, the Angstrum, like I said, if you hold the trigger down all the way, it's going to shoot off 3. If you hold it for a couple seconds and let it go before it's fully fully charged, it'll just shoot off 1 blast bullet, if you will. But there, I just did 3. So, and this one comes with blast as the element, and of course you're going to work it up a little bit. It's kind of like a mini ogress, if you will. Definitely have some work involved in putting it together. I mean, I'm still working on my ogress. I think I'm 4 forma in, planning on going to another forma on the ogress to really go crazy. But that's just when I have time to level it with everything else I'm doing right now. So that is what it is. Anyway, very good weapons. I do like them. Are they worth the platinum cost? That's entirely up to you. I would suggest with the Angstrum that you just go and Angstrum. I'm sorry. The Angstrum. you go ahead into the void and see if you can farm out those 2 argon crystals. And if you want to fast track it from there, it'll cost you next to nothing, as opposed to buying it out front for 190 platinum, but it is entirely your choice. I think it's definitely worth the 190 platinum. So if you have any questions, comments or anything, please do leave them below. I will gladly answer them as best as I can. I do plan on doing some more videos, obviously, of this, to do the progression updates with both weapons. I do plan on doing build videos as soon as I can get the weapons to something comfortable, which may include 1 or 2 forma. We'll see how it goes. So just give me a little bit of time on that. And I have not forgotten about the builds on the melee weapons, as I was promised the other day, or as I promised the other day. I think the next one is going to be the Hate, and then after that I've got Reaper Prime here that I'm ready on. Ether Reaper, I'm mostly ready on it. I just need to get the Stalking Fan stance on it so I can see how that fits. That's the one that needs to fit on there. But yeah, so that's the way that it is. We'll come through with that. But if you have any questions or anything, you know, feel free to ask me anytime. This is right now only the PC update. When it comes out on PS4, I am not sure yet. I know you guys just got updated that gene. I know the next big patch is going to see the Warframe ability changes, so I would assume they're just going to try to put everything together in another big patch for you guys in a couple of weeks. But that's it for now. Please do hit that like button if you did like this. Subscribe if you want to subscribe to this and the stuff on the channel. Comments below, like I said. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated.
Very impressive, Tenno. You held them all back. Time to get out of here.